guys, so of course we're going to be using some sweet potatoes, some delicious ground cinnamon. Along with that, we'll be using some vanilla extract. Some nutmeg that we won't be paying attention to how old it is. Some of that good old salt of the earth. A little sugar. Some brown sugar, you know, it's got a little more culture to it. Some evaporated milk. Salted butter. Some spinning eggs, of course. And then I'm going to be using a pre-made graham cracker pie crust. You definitely can make your own pie crust or use whichever pie crust you'd like, but this is what I'm going to go with. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is cream together our butter and our sugar, which basically means we're going to beat them together into submission. So we're going to be taking about a 1/3 cup of butter, which is about 5 tablespoons and some change, and smack that into the bowl. Then we're going to measure out our 4th cup of brown sugar. Those are my brown sugar meteors that just came out of the bag, but it's okay. We're going to jam them into the shape of our 1/4 cup. And then we're going to put that into the bowl. Just like that. And then we're going to measure out about a 1/2 cup of regular white sugar. And then we'll be adding that, of course, to the bowl as well. And then from there, get a nice electric mixer. And cream them junks together. And definitely start on a lower speed and then make your way up to not make a mess. The next thing we're going to do is, in a separate bowl, we're going to scramble our eggs together. And then once we do that, we're going to add that to the bowl with the creamed sugar and butter. So of course, just like you were making eggs in the morning, get you a fork and then just mixy until it's nice and mixed together. And then pour the unborn chickens into the bowl. Once you get your eggs into the bowl, then you're going to use your electric mixer on medium speed and get them all nicely incorporated together. And you're going to keep mixing until you can see that your mixture is a nice, even consistency like this. Alright guys, so I had put my potatoes into the oven for about 45 minutes on 400 because that's what you want to do to be able to mash them nicely for when you mix them into your mixture. Alright, once we get our potatoes out of the oven, we're going to give them a nice peel, making sure we got all the little skin giblets off. Put it into a nice bowl and then we will mash them. Once we get them mashed, we're going to go ahead and put them into our batter that we have created so far, and then we'll add the rest of our wet ingredients as well. Getting the last of that potato out of the bowl, you know, waste not, want not. Then we're going to be adding 3/4 of a cup of evaporated milk. I don't have a 3/4 cup, so I'm using 3/4 of a cup. Then after that, we will be using 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. As I've said in a couple videos now, don't know where our teaspoon is, so I've been using a 1/2 teaspoon. Then from there, we'll be using a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. It's probably a little bit extra than a teaspoon, but a little more nutmeg ain't never hurt nobody. Then from there, we'll be putting about a tablespoon of cinnamon. And, you know, once again, a little extra cinnamon never hurt nobody. Into the bowl. And then after that, we'll be adding a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which is really just a pinch. So that's me pinching and then putting the rest of that unnecessary salt into the sink. And then we're gonna get that nice and mixed together. And this will be the main batter that goes into our pie shell, guys. Delicious. Nice brown slurry of deliciousness getting poured into your nice graham cracker filling. And if we did everything right, it should fill right under the edges of that pie crust. Now, if you're worried about, like, oh, look at this, like, the specks of whatever, it's fine. Once you put it into the oven, it's gonna all, you know, melt and meld together the way it should be. Then you're gonna take your pie filling and put it into a preheated oven at 425 degrees for 15 minutes, and then reduce the heat to 350 and bake for another 35 to 40 minutes. Now, once you take your pie out of the oven, you're gonna wanna give it about 30 minutes to an hour to cool in the fridge so that it can set properly. Now, mine probably could have used a couple more minutes in the fridge to set a little more, but it is cutting and it's holding its shape. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a taste. Alright guys, there it is, a sweet potato pie, and let's give it a try. Let's see here. It's the bee's knees right there. Whew, man. It's gonna be a busy Thanksgiving. Alright guys, here it is, sweet potato pie. Tastes delicious. Hope yours tastes delicious. Keep tuning in to Deion's Dope Dishes, and I'll see you next time.